Okay, so in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to put up 3 types of different shelter using a tarpaulin I'm in right now, some ropes. You first got the A-frame shelter. It's good for general sheltering children in bad weather, like a tent. And the second type of shelter is a kit shelter, which is good for blocking out wind, which is the one I'm sitting in right now. And finally, the last one is a shelter that you put high up for covering over things like a hammock that you might want to stay in, for fire building when it's a bit wet. Okay, so A-frame shelter, good for sheltering in bad weather. Kit shelter, good for keeping your kit dry and out of the wind. And the high shelter, good for cooking and keeping you safe and dry while sleeping in your hammock. Okay, I'll get showing you how to do these. Okay, so here, tied a simple timber hitch around the tree. Okay, if you want to see more of that, there's a link to a video with knots in the comments down below. Okay, so it's one round, one tree, tied a simple timber hitch. Okay. Now, on the end of the rope, on the other end, I've tied a loop in. Here I've used an alpine butterfly, but you can use a figure of 8 knot or anything that gives you a simple loop. Okay. Okay, now I've passed the rope around the second tree and back through the loop that I just made. Okay. Okay, so I've taken that from the tree, go through the loop, back around the tree, and we're at this point here. I'm going to secure this off with a nice knot on this end once it's nice and tight. Okay, there's the final knot securing in that line. I'm going to back up the guy line. There's a loop all the way up to the other tree there that has the timber hitch around it. Okay. Okay, now I've hung the tarpaulin that I'm using here over the guy line here. I'm just using a cheap tarpaulin. Obviously, if you're using a more sophisticated one, they have hooks on the top edge here for you to pass the rope. My rope's just going underneath for now. Okay, I'm going to secure it at either end here, down the other end here, so it doesn't move along the rope with a simple knot. Okay, here I've tied a brussick around the rope here, and here just a simple clove hitch around just this loop of tarpaulin. This tarpaulin does have some eye holes in, but they're not spaced along the middle, so I've just used a quick clove hitch around this part of the tarpaulin, hold it tight. I should do it on this side. Okay, so I'm going to tie the tarpaulin down on the other side of the central guy line. Okay, so on this edge here, again, just try to brief it around this end here, the tarpaulin, passed it through the loop of my rope here, and just secured it, just past this knot with a just reef knot, just keeps it nice and tight along the guy line. Okay, so now we have our tarpaulin spread out along our ridge line. Now we're going to peg out the sides. Then we've pegged out the sides. We've got a nice sort of A-frame shelter. Okay, this one is particularly very long. Obviously, if you were using this to protect yourself from wind, you'd do it so the wind was facing either coming this direction across here, not so it was going down the middle of the shelter. Okay, I've only pegged it out the corners. I haven't used it along pegs all the way along this edge because the ground is very hard here. It's a bit difficult to get them in, but as a demonstration, this works quite well. Okay, so that is the. Then we've pegged out the sides. We've got a nice sort of A-frame shelter. Okay, this one is particularly very long. Obviously, if you were using this to protect yourself from wind, you'd do it so the wind was facing either coming this direction across here, not so it was going down the middle of the shelter. Okay, I've only pegged it out the corners. I haven't used it along pegs all the way along this edge because the ground is very hard here. It's a bit difficult to get them in, but as a demonstration, this works quite well. Okay, so that is the A-frame shelter. Okay. Okay, so what I've done here is made the basic kit shelter. Okay, we've got the sphere slant line there, a slight slope on the roof across top, and it means this side is open, back side is shut. Okay, mainly used if the wind's coming in this direction, then your kit can be in here nice and safe and dry. Okay, now to get the corners, what I've done here is I've tied this guy line here, just put it over a little notch in a stick, and just pegged it out in the ground down below. So again, my guy line going down over the stick here, while a little bit of a notch in the top of that stick, just let the rope go through. This corner here also showed you that you could tie off to the tree, similar as we did to the ridge line earlier on, just to give it that upwards look. Okay, so this is the kit shelter. Okay. Okay, down at this end here, again we have stick with a notch in, guy lines going down to a peg, just down here, just go in here, just not see it there. Okay, that gives us a nice stretched out kit shelter. Okay, there you go, it's kit shelter. Again, far side there is pegged down at ground level. Okay, so there's your kit shelter. So with this high shelter, I tied the tarpaulin in one tree corner as high as I can get it, above head height. Along this edge, tied it as high as I can on this broken stump. Okay, I'm not putting a ridge into this one. The ground here slopes away in this direction. Okay, so there'll be a natural slope to the shelter anyway, especially as this up here isn't as high as the tree at the other end. Again, just using a timber hitch on this tree and a little bit of this white string to secure the tarpaulin, and on this side, combination of a loop and again the white string to fix the tarpaulin. Okay, and I'm going to fix on the other side. Okay, so on this side of my high shelter, use the mixture of techniques here on this corner. I tied this corner off to this tree over here using a loop tension knot, and over here back to this tree over here, because look, just this edge here was breaking, so just loosen the tension a bit. I shared it between 2 points like that. Okay, over here in the middle, on this edge here, I've secured it to this tree over here, and then this corner using guy line and a stick with a notch in, that edge there. Okay, so underneath here we have to go. Okay, come out the other side. Now tarpaulin has a nice slope, down towards that far corner where the stick is, so the rain would wash off in that direction. A large space underneath fire. Okay, so there we go. If we wanted to, could fix these eye holes onto the skyline here. I can have a more solid line up here on this edge. I don't feel I really need it in this weather. It's not too windy here at the moment. But there you go. That's one high shelter. Okay, so to demonstrate how to type 3 shelters, the A-frame shelter we showed you first of all for sheltering groups of children. And we've got the kit shelter for keeping your kit dry in bad weather, and thirdly the high shelter, which is up behind me here for cooking under and keeping yourself dry. Okay, thank you very much.